Pakistan. You want to introduce yourself?
Assalamu alaikum. This is the greeting in our language. When we meet with some other person, we say Assalamu alaikum. It means that God bless you. And the person replies, Wa alaikum assalam, yes. I am Kaisar Mahmood from Pakistan. There is a top university of Pakistan, Quaid Azam University. You can see QAU. And I am doing PhD over there, and I am here due to the invitation of respected Dr. Patrick. He invited me to visit US to have meetings with the people here, because my topic is also related to the Pakistan-US relations in my PhD. That is why it is very good for me to have meetings with the people here, some intellectuals as well, some common people as well, and it is a great experience for me, and I hope that I will manage to tell you something about Pakistan which you do not know at this time.
It's a great honor to have you here at UNO, University of Nebraska Omaha, here in Omaha, and I'm glad that you're able to share. Kasir is here on a prestigious fellowship from the Pakistani government, which is awarded to the top scholars in Pakistan to come to the U.S. and study, do research, and build greater partnerships. U.S.-Pakistan relations is the topic that Kasir is researching here. So it's particularly relevant for what we're going to hear today. Before we start, here's what I want to do. Very quickly, give me your name and one thing you want to know about Pakistan. Your name and one thing you want to know about Pakistan. Right here. What's your name?
Jacob.
Jacob, what do you want to know about Pakistan?
Its population.
Population. What name?
Jaden.
Jaden. What do you want to know about Pakistan?
What's the climate?
Good. The crime, okay. Sports. Nice. Yes.
Nazareth.
Okay.
Taylor and I want to know something about
The food.
And I would like to know about their sports.
They're what?
Their sports.
Sports. Recreation time. Transportation. What do you want to know? Okay.
My name's Jocelyn, and I want to learn about what they like to do.
Great.
My name's Danny, and I would like to learn about their traditional clothing.
Traditional clothes.
I'm Zach, and I want to learn about their average temperature.
Okay.
That's all we got to know about the population.
Okay.
I want to know what their diet is.
Okay.
American. I want to know what's the lowest temperature it goes to.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
I want to learn about the traditions.
Good.
Javion saying.
Okay.
Yeah, my name's Chris.
Chris, do me a favor. Come here. Get up. Chris, I'm going to put you right in the front row because you look like you're not even pays close attention to everything, right? Here we go. All right. Here we go. We are going to answer a number of your questions, and the ones that we don't answer, we're going to come back to at a later time. Kasir has a presentation here. I'm going to run the projector, and he's going to present. So please.
First of all, I want to tell you about the flag of our country. This is the flag of our country. Most of the students may have seen this. There are two colors. One color is white and the other color is green. And you can see that the green color is has larger area than the white color, because green color is the symbol of the Muslims. It represents the Muslim population residing over there. Although you can see that this area is in this flag about 75%, and this area is almost about 25%. But in Pakistan, there are about 96 to 97% Muslims, and non-Muslim population is about 3 to 4%. And non-Muslim population include Christians, etc., Hindus, Sikhs. And there is a moon and a star. These two things represent the progress, prosperity of the people and the development of the country. This man is the father of the nation. His name is Muhammad Ali Jinnah, and in short, people know him as Jinnah. Jinnah is a tribe to which he was belonged to, and we people call him Qaid-e-Azam. Qaid means, in our language, it means leader, and Azam means the great. Qaid-e-Azam means the great leader. We call him as love and respect. Now, I want to share a brief history of Pakistan, not in detail, but some important events. Pakistan got independence from the British on August 14, 1947. It was the time when we were united with India. Do you know India? India is once Pakistan and India and Bangladesh. These three countries were united, and the collective name was India. But due to some conflicts between the two major populations, that is Muslims and Hindus who were residing in this area, we got independence, we got separated, because before our independence we were under the rule of the British. And on August 14, 1947, we got freedom as two independent states. One was Pakistan and the other was India. But later on, there were some conflicts between the eastern and western wing of Pakistan. And in 1971, Pakistan was also divided into two parts. One is now you know it as Bangladesh, and the other is Pakistan. West Pakistan is called now Pakistan, and East Pakistan is called as Bangladesh. Muhammad Ali Jinnah, the great leader, is the founding father, I have told you earlier. And the main role which Pakistan played in the history is its role in the war against USSR. Do you know about the war against USSR? Anybody knows about that war? It was in 1979 when USSR attacked Afghanistan, which is a neighboring country attached to its boundaries attached with Pakistan, and that was a great threat for the region and for the US as well. So we partnered with the United States and we fought a war against USSR and managed to defeat that great power with the help of the US. It is also a thing of great significance to tell you about that there are 7 declared nuclear powers in the world, and Pakistan is one of those powers. Pakistan emerged as the 7th nuclear power of the world when it tested its nuclear weapon on May 28, 1998. This is a great achievement for a country like Pakistan, which is included in developing countries and not these days a developed country. Then you may have knowledge about the 9/11. Do you know about that incident? Which changed the history of the world and the politics of the world. And when there were attacks on World Trade Center in the United States, and at that time, the United States started a war against terror. And Pakistan was also on the front line of that, because for the United States it was not possible to the plans of the United States. It was not possible to cover a large distance and go to Afghanistan for bombardment on the targets where the terrorists were hiding themselves. And for that, US was in need of some airports, land area where the planes should land to refuel it, because without fuel, a large distance cannot be covered. And Pakistan provided that support to the US. That is why we were at the front line at that time. Pakistan has parliamentary system of government, which is not like the one which is in the United States. We have a president, which is the head of our state. Because state and government, you may have the knowledge, these are two different things. State is the area which is occupied by a country, and the head of that state is the president. It is, I can say that it is a symbolic post. Although he is the head of the whole country, but he does not have much powers to run the government. The government in Pakistan is run by the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister runs the government. All the affairs of the government, for example, foreign policy, economic policy, these are run by Prime Minister. So he is called the head of the government. And I want to tell you that at present, Mamnoon Hussain, he is the president of Pakistan, and you can say that head of the state. And the head of the government, that is Prime Minister, is Nawaz Sharif. He is the Prime Minister of Pakistan for the third time. First of all, he was Prime Minister in 1990, and he remained Prime Minister till 1993. Then he again came to power in 1997 and remained a Prime Minister in 1999 for 3 years. And now he is the Prime Minister for the third time. He was elected in 2013. And in Pakistan, the government continues for 5 years. As you know that in the United States, the government is for 4 years. But the term in Pakistan is for 5 years. And if you count from 2013, then 2018 is the election year. Next year is our election year, and new Prime Minister will be elected by the people. Now, I want to tell you about some facts which during the opinions when Dr. Patrick asked you about what you want to know about Pakistan, most of the answers will lie in this explanation. First of all, population. The population of Pakistan is 196 million, roundabout. Official language is Urdu. This is our official language. And capital city of Pakistan is Islamabad. Islamabad, Islam means our religion, Abad means populated. It means that Islam is populated in that area. That for that purpose it is called Islamabad. This is about the detail of the population. 96.4% population is Muslim. Christians are on the second level, 1.8%. 1.6% are Hindus. And other religions, for example, Buddhists, Parsis.
This is Tom.
Yes.
Could you send Abby to sign out, please?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yep.
This population is 0.2%. Now I want to tell you about the currency. Pakistani rupee is the currency of Pakistan. At present, there are 3 countries which have the currency as rupee, and Pakistan is one of them. And its symbol is PKR. PK means Pakistan, and R means rupee. And now I want to tell you about the comparison with the US dollar. so that you may know the worth of our currency. $1 is equal to 0.6 Pakistani rupees. This is the comparison between the two currencies. Literacy rate is not much better. It is 60%. 60% of the adult population is literate. We have 167 universities throughout our country. This is some detail about the facts. Now I want to tell you about the geographical location of Pakistan. Pakistan is situated in an important location, which is important weather-wise, political, you can say that political-wise, and in all other respects. This is Pakistan. This is the map of Pakistan. And on our western side, this is the country Afghanistan. This is Afghanistan. We share a long border with Afghanistan. And this is the country which was attacked by the USSR in 1979. This is Iran. We have a small border with Iran. And this border is with India, which was once united with Pakistan under British rule. And this border is shared with China. And on southern side, this is the south portion, there is Arabian Sea, and which serves as the greatest port for the Pakistan. And on this portion, we are now
You can't touch it.
we are now constructing another port, which is Gwadar. This is the second port which is being constructed in Pakistan, and it will boost the economy of our country.
I'm going to pause the lecture there. There are some more slides, but I want to make sure that we are answering some of the questions that you had in the beginning. So let me ask someone who asked a question that has not yet been answered. Sports. What's the number one sport?
It will come afterwards.
Okay, I'm just conscious of the time, so we want to continue to move. What else haven't we answered? Transportation, okay? What else? Yeah, food, right. Good.
Transportation, the main transportation includes in Pakistan is the buses, which run from one city to the another city. There is also a track, railway track, which starts from our capital, Islamabad, to Karachi, the eastern southern country of Pakistan.
From up here all the way down to the south.
From this region to that region. And in some areas of Balochistan as well. This is our province called Balochistan. And we have also about 15 international airports. Islamabad Airport, Karachi, Lahore, these are the main airports which are used for international landings, and there are some others as well.
So we're going to move through some of these slides kind of quickly here.
Yes.
Some of the traditional clothing. So who was asking about clothing? Somebody asked about clothing. Yeah.
Yes.
Look at that.
We have 5 provinces, just like the states in the United States. We have 5 states, and every state has its traditional clothing. Punjab, this is the clothing of Punjab. This is the traditional clothing of Sindh. Balochistan, this is the traditional clothing. KPK means Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, it is its complete name, and we call it as KPK. This is another province, Gilgit, Baltistan, and this is the traditional clothing of women and men in Pakistan. This is our national dress. Most of the people on some national occasions wear this dress. This is called Shalwar Kameez with waistcoat. This is waistcoat. And you can see Dr. Patrick, he also wears that.
I should have worn that today. I should have worn my traditional dress.
Yes. And this is the, again called Shalwar Kameez, and this is for the ladies.
Somebody asked about food.
These are the 2 most popular fruit of Pakistan. In summers, in summer we have mangoes,
Oh, the best mangoes in the world.
and everyone waits for summer to have a great taste of these mangoes. And in winter, this is the major eaten fruit in Pakistan, orange. These are the two main fruits, but these are seasonal. We have mangoes in May, June, July, these 2 or 3 months, and we have oranges in November, December, January, February, these 4 months. This is the winter fruit, and these are some places to visit. This is the tomb or grave of our founding father, Muhammad Ali Jinnah. This is Minar-e Pakistan. You can say it Pakistan Tower.
I've been there.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is constructed to remember the creation of Pakistan. This is the world's largest mosque, which is called Faisal Mosque, and it is in Islamabad.
Can I just say that I celebrated Eid al-Fitr at Faisal Mosque.
Yes.
So at the end of the month of Ramadan, which is the month of fasting, there is a special holiday. It's probably the biggest holiday of the year for Muslims. And I happened to be in Pakistan for part of Ramadan and then for Eid. And I broke fast there, which was a great, great honor.
And this is our northern area, which is also a very beautiful place.
Somebody asked about temperatures, and in the northern regions, in the mountains, it gets very cold.
Yes. The average temperature in our northern part is, in winters, it is about -15 to, you can say that 5 to -15, this is the range, and average, you can say that -5 is the average temperature.
And there are there in the mountains there are glaciers with these beautiful lakes.
And this part has mountains which are covered with snow, and this snow is the main source of water throughout Pakistan, because Pakistan is a steeper country. The portion northern areas are hilly, and when we move to Karachi, there is a steep, and water flows easily throughout our country. This is the world's second highest peak, which is called K2.
K2.
Karakoram 2, it is also in Pakistan.
They say this is the most difficult mountain to climb in the world.
Yes.
Even more, number one is Everest, but even more difficult than Everest is K2. This is an amazing mountain climbing.
And this is a door which connects our two provinces, Punjab and KPK, and it is called Khyber Pass. Now I want to tell you about the season. We have 5 seasons. First season, which continues for 2 months in March and April. It is spring season. And May and June are summer seasons. Although we have some hot weather in July and August, but these 2 months are regarded as rainy season, because we have most of the rains in these 2 months.
And I'll say one thing about this monsoon season, the rainy season. The monsoon season, I think, is the most beautiful, the most lush, green, peaceful, just a beautiful time of the year. Yes?
Wait, is that September and October?
What's that?
September and October. We're in there November to December.
Yeah.
So,
September, October
and
isn't there.
October, these two have mixed weather. In some portion there is rainy season, in some portion these are. That is why I didn't mention it. Because
Good
it has
paying attention.
some-
Good job.
And November and December are autumn season, which is, you can say that very boring season, because the flowers and leaves of the tree disappear in this season. And this is January and February are winter season. We face much cold. In our hilly areas, the temperature reaches about -20.
That was one of your questions back there, I think, was about temperature. Let's move through the education system fairly quickly, because I think some of the other stuff is more interesting.
Education system, we have separate education institutions for boys and girls up to graduation level. This is the main thing about. Although we have some universities for women, separate universities for women, But most universities, boys and girls study together because we do not have facility to have a separate institution at that level. That is why on top level these students study together. We have three systems of education. One is the government schools owned by the government. Second are the private schools which are owned by the private organizations. And third are madrasas, which are religious institutions, and these run by charities. And medium of most of the schools in our country is English, and English is taught as compulsory subject. A student must pass that subject to clear the whole exam. If he fails in that subject and he passes every other subject, then he is regarded as failed. That is the importance which we give to English in our country.
I'm going to pause there again. We have about 10 minutes left, and I want to make sure that we have time for some questions and some dialogue. I'm going to first ask, yeah, go ahead.
Why did Pakistan want independence from Britain?
Why did Pakistan want independence from Britain?
Because during British Pakistan, in Pakistan and Indian region, Hindus and Muslims were living together, but due to some political conflicts, some religious conflicts between the two nations who were in majority, we decided to separate ourselves. And one part, which is lower part Pakistan, it is for the Muslims, and the other is for the Hindus. Although in India there are more Muslims than in Pakistan, but due to geographical distribution, we managed to separate some portion which is called Pakistan, where majority are the Muslims.
And let me just say one other thing about this, that at the time that India, the greater India, won independence from the British, there was actually a lot of debate about whether there should be 2 or 3 countries out of that, or whether they should all be united. And Mahatma Gandhi felt like India should stay united, that we should not have Pakistan and India separately. There were others, like Jinnah, the leader of Pakistan, the founder of Pakistan, who felt that they should be 2 separate countries. And so there was a lot of bloodshed during that time of partition. Sorry about that. So that was a really important part of history. You had a question.
What's the price of just one bus ride?
The price of a bus ride. How much do you pay for a bus ride?
When we move in intercity, then it is about, you can say, 20 cents. And when you move from one city to the other, then it's average about $5.
Yeah.
How many years have you been studying?
I am studying.
Like how many years is a regular education?
There are 16 years of regular education up to master's level. First 10 year we call that matriculation, metric level, and after that a student is free to opt whether he want to study science subjects or he want to study art subjects, and then for 4 years he completes graduation, and after graduation there are 2 years for master level in which the student studies only one subject in which he want to get his master degree, and after that there are 2 years for MPhil degree and 3 years for PhD degree.
Go ahead.
How long have you been studying PhD?
I am in this class since 2012, and this is my 5th year in PhD. Because the minimum period in PhD is 3 years, but it prolongs to 5 or 6 years as well, because it is it needs very extensive research. That is why it takes a long time.
Question there? Go ahead.
What is the most popular pastry or dessert
We have some sweets. For example, laddu is our favorite sweet, and we have also have some samosas which are salty, and pakoras. These are also our desserts which are used in different meetings and.
Can I say one thing about Pakistan that I've experienced the 3 times that I've been there? The hospitality in Pakistan is some of the greatest in the world. And I think that it is partly the Muslim culture, but it's partly the Pakistani traditions and the customs of traditional Pakistan that you would do anything for a guest who comes. And I will say one thing, that the feasts, the meals that I've had in Pakistan have been so wonderful. And a meal is not complete until you have a sweet at the end. So they'll feed you all of this wonderful food and then bring out a whole nother tray of desserts. And you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so full. But they won't allow you to not have some sweet at the end, because it's not a meal unless there's something sweet.
Yes, because we think that guest is the angel from the God, and we serve the guest like that. And even the most poor people, if you happen to go to some poor family, and when you see the table before you, you will be surprised that how he has managed that, because we love and respect our guests.
It's very true. What other questions do you have for Kasir or for me? Mrs. Hall, do you have anything that you would like to ask?
We have been learning a lot about Pakistan the last couple weeks. The students have been doing research, and they created their own Jeopardy game with the different categories. So some of those categories that we had were religion. We learned about the Taliban a little bit.
Yeah.
And so I have a feeling that some of you guys might have some questions about the Taliban. Maybe you don't want to ask them. So I will ask one, unless you want to go ahead and ask one. Okay. So we learned about Malala.
Yeah, I just saw that you watched the Malala film.
The documentary.
Good.
And so maybe how prevalent is the Taliban still in Pakistan today? Do they still exist, or are they completely gone?
I want to show map.
Yeah.
First of all, I want to tell you about the history of Taliban. I have told you that in 1979, USSR attacked Afghanistan, and Pakistan is connected. Border of Pakistan is connected with Afghanistan, and at that time, the world thought that we should stop USSR in this region, and to stop the USSR, Pakistan and United States created some militant groups. There were 7 top militant groups which were fighting against the USSR, but they were supported by the US and Pakistani government. And in 1987, Pakistan and United States managed to defeat the USSR. And at that time, Pakistani government, our president was General Zia, he told the United States and other allied countries that you should stay in this region till the formation of a stable government in Afghanistan. Because if you would leave before the formation of government, then these militant groups would start fighting among each other. Although they were united and in fighting against the USSR, but they have many ethnic, religious differences among each other. That is why Pakistan was expected to have some mutual fights between them in case of the absence of some stable government there. But the world and the US separated themselves from this issue and left these militant groups at their own, and they started fighting. And at that time, Pakistan was alone to decide what to do in this complex situation. Because this is our long border, and Pakistan doesn't have much resources to protect its long border. Because this portion is also not protected because we have some bitter relations with India. That is why Pakistan decided to support some of the militant groups so that Pakistan may have its own favored group at this portion. And unfortunately, that effort resulted in the formation of Taliban. And during the Taliban, Pakistan border was secured because they were favored by the Pakistani government. But we favored them only to protect our borders. And they were formed in 1994. Taliban were formed in 1994, and we supported them for 7 years. But when they assisted some groups of Al-Qaeda to have some attacks on the World Trade Center, then Pakistan shifted its policy towards Taliban, and Pakistan first of all told the leaders of Taliban to hand over Osama bin Laden to the United States because he had done a wrong thing with the US. He was the murderer of about 450 people, innocent people in the United States. So you should hand over this person to the United States. But Taliban, they were fighters, I have told you, they did not accept this offer of Pakistan, and they refused to accept this. And at that time, Pakistan did not support Taliban. Pakistan supported the United States and the World Alliance forces against Taliban. I want to tell you, the good relation between Pakistan and Taliban were for just 7 years. After that, Taliban were independent to do anything, and they are attacking Pakistan. No, I will tell you that 10,000 attacks we have faced, terrorist attacks, in which we lost our 50,000 people, the lives of 50,000 people after 9/11. And this is the result of the support which we gave to the United States and the world forces, and Taliban is attacking due to our decision to support these forces. And now at this time we are not supporting this friction of Taliban. We are against them, we are fighting with them, and Pakistani military launched operations against Taliban, and now these attacks are reduced to just 20.
Kasir, we're closing in on 11:40, which is the time that the class ends.
Well, the bell technically rings at 11:43.
43. Okay,
Yeah.
so we have
3
a few
minutes
minutes left.
Yep.
I think that there's just a couple of important points to highlight there. One is that Pakistan has been the target of more terrorist attacks than I would say almost any other country in the world. And that's partly because they've been allied with the United States in some of these fights in the war on terror. And I also would say that the border issue is one that should not be lost on anyone here, that there is this long border with Afghanistan. So thank you for that. Any final questions or comments before we thank Kasir? Yes.
What animals do you consider as pets?
Do you keep pets as animals, pets?
We keep dogs for the security purposes of our horses. Most of the people keep goats, sheep, camels. These are used for milk, meat. We keep horses for riding purposes in some our villages and hilly areas.
Can I add one more thing? When I was in Lahore, which is one of the most historic cities that I've ever been in, they have an old city that's like 400 years old in the old city of Lahore. And on the roofs of the houses in Lahore, they keep pigeons.
Yes,
And they have these pigeon races, and it's a really interesting like subculture to see, and they actually have these very competitive pigeon keepers and such. So that's another pet that I saw when I was there. We're going to end our time here. Give it back to Mrs. Hall for any final comments.
All right. Any final questions you guys have? You can write them down. We can email them as well. Okay. Give them a round of applause for that.
And I understand Is it this class that's going to play cricket, or is it another class?
It's not this class. These guys got to go play last year.
Oh, okay, great, great.
And so this year, my other kids get to go.
Well, in Pakistan, they love cricket.
Yes. So, thank you guys so much for coming. You guys can go walk to lunch if I hear any of you running.
Wow!